Hey ladies, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. So today's video is a little bit different. Typically in my videos I have something specific I want to talk about, or it's something with Boxycharm. Today's video is not really any of that. I got some things sent to me recently in PR, some things I got in Boxy pop-up, or some things that I had just bought and haven't had a chance to really show on camera before. So we're just going to sit down and play with makeup. I have one skincare item that we're going to try out in today's video, and I have a new highlighter palette that is just so pretty. So we're just going to have a good time, play with some makeup, and see what kind of look we can come up with. If this is something that you enjoy, if you like these type of videos, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And while you're at it, do not forget to hit that subscribe button to become part of the Wolfpack today, because I would love to have you join the family. And now let's get into it. Alright, so to prep my skin for makeup, I did use a new product today. This was sent to me complimentary from Dermalogica. This is their brand new Hydra Masque Exfoliant. Now this one I do recommend if you don't really like any of those physical exfoliants, like they're a little bit too harsh or rough for your skin. This was extremely soothing, so smooth. So this was made to exfoliate and hydrate your skin. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to use. And it includes touch activated bamboo spheres and exfoliates for smooth skin. When I used this, I did see that there were a few spheres, but I don't know if maybe because it was the first application and I didn't really see that many. I saw a few spheres and they felt really weird. I kind of enjoyed playing with those, but I did massage it onto my skin and left it on for 3 to 5 minutes and rinsed it off. This is extremely thick. Like, I guess because of the hydration in it, is an extremely thick mask, and it took me a minute to rinse it off. But it feels so good on my skin. And I had dry areas around my nose where I've been blowing my nose so much here recently. My allergies are just all out of whack in my sinuses, but this actually made all those dry patches gone. It did really good taking care of those. So again, if you have dry skin, I do recommend this, and it will be linked down below if you're curious. Alright, so the next thing that we're going to be using, this is from Juno & Co. This is their Moonshine Miracle Cream. We're going to use this, oh, I like the packaging. We're going to use this as our moisturizer and primer. And they just recently launched a skincare line as well. Whoa, that's cool. Oh, okay. That is so pretty. Okay, but anyways, I've heard this is like one of their top products. Then with Juno, it's this and then their sponges. It looks more like a moisturizer, but they reached out to me, wanted to know if I was interested in this because they were going to be launching their skincare line, and they're like, hey, if you just want to kind of get familiar with our products, why don't you try this and let us know what you think of it. That feels really nice and absorbed pretty quickly. I'm curious to see how this one will do over the course of the day as far as keeping my makeup long lasting. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be using, this is from Becca Cosmetics, and this was made in collaboration with Barbie Feria. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. I'm really bad at pronunciation, but she was the actress that played alongside Zendaya on Euphoria. I love her acting, and I saw that they had a collaboration with her, and I was just excited for it. And as far as the packaging goes, this is insanely beautiful. I really like the way this looks. And I forgot to tell you, this is called the Prismatica palette. And it includes 5 highlighters. And instead of it just opening up from the front and flipping up, they made it to where it opens kind of down the middle. And I kind of like the packaging as far as that, and I kind of don't at the same time, just because the mirrors are kind of like awkward when you go to use them. But I get why they did it. It's a whole vibe. It's a display piece, the way they made it. But here are the 5 highlighters, and I've swatched them already, and they're super pigmented. So with it being a highlighter palette, I kind of want to use this for my eyeshadow, so I think that's what we're going to do today. The other face products we're going to be using in today's video, I have a couple of new items from Natasha Denona. These are the Transfer Matte Pore Vanishing Matte Foundation, and this one is the Transfix Matte Concealer. I got both of these in a Boxy pop-up. I paid $12 each for them. I think I got a pretty good deal, but I'm going to use the concealer to prep the eyelids before we go into the highlighter. So these are extremely pigmented as far as highlighters, and I think it might actually be a little bit hard to use unless you go in with an extremely light hand for your face. But for eyeshadows, I think it would work really well. So I'm going to go in with this color first for the crease. I was trying to hold this to do my eyeshadow, but honestly this thing's too big and bulky. I cannot hold it up like that. So that mirror in there is just essentially useless to me. The color is pretty though, and I'm able to blend out the edges enough to where it's not too harsh, so it's not grabbing anywhere. So it seems to be very blendable. And to go all over the lid, I'm going to pick this shade up here, which has a little bit of pink to it. That's super pretty. And I want to brighten up the center of the eye a little bit, so I'm going to take this lightest shade, which is real pretty champagne gold color. That would be gorgeous as a highlighter. And I'm just going to pop that in the center. Here are all of the highlighters, and you can see why these can be used as eyeshadows because they are insanely pigmented, especially that red that I put in my eyes here. And this purple here, I actually want to try again putting that all over the lid because I think that color would be absolutely stunning. And this highlighter is the one that's in the center, and it has a blue reflect to it, and it's an iridescent highlighter. That one's a little bit chunkier, but it's got more sparkle in it than the other shades. But these are really, really pretty. And this one is blinding. Like, this is probably the brightest highlighter out of them. These are a little bit more subtle. This one is just, bam, I'm here. This will be linked down below as well if you want to try it out because I think it's still available. I'll have to double check, but this one will be linked down below. And to line my eyes, I'm going with the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their liquid eyeliner. This is the one I think that Norvina put out. And I wanted it just because it was like inkwell liner. Like, you've got the brush here and then the ink down here in the bottom so that it doesn't dry out as quickly as some of the felt pens that I have. You know, they dry out kind of quickly. This one seems to go on forever and ever and is extremely pigmented. But the only thing I don't like about it is the end of it. It's so long and flexible that it can get out of control really, really quickly. But it's taken me some practice. I'm not up to using it for a wing liner yet, but I have heard a lot of people have success using this for that. I don't really have any new lashes or mascara that I haven't tried out recently, so I'm just going to quickly pop on some mascara and lashes and I'll be right back. Alright, so that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. I had to jump into a meeting with Boxycharm because now that I'm a part of their team, I actually get invites to come to their meetings with Joe, and it's pretty exciting. They're working on a new thing, a new perk for people who are on premium and luxe subscriptions. So I can't share much detail about it now, but as soon as they come up with a way for us to say it, I'll say it. But just be on the lookout for it soon, hopefully, because it sounds pretty exciting. But anyways, the lashes I put on while I was away were from Lashaholic Lashes, and it's in the style They're Real, I Swear. And I really like these. They're kind of natural and kind of glam at the same time. I've been really, really digging these here lately. So anyways, let's continue to the next product. So before I go in with my foundation, I have to do a little bit of color correction because I have dark under eye circles and around here at my mouth. So I'm just going to do that super, super fast. Alright, now I know my face is a little red, especially on this side here. I have rosacea, and where I was in the hospital, I was on medications, and it kind of made my skin go into overdrive, and it goes through these spells where it just flares up, and then it'll calm down, it'll flare up, and it'll calm down, and it just decided to flare up while I was in that meeting with Boxycharm. Hopefully it'll go away really soon, but don't think it was the mask, because my face felt really, really good after that, and it's not itching, it's not irritated. I don't think it was the mask at all. I think it's just my rosacea acting up. So, okay. What we're going with next is the Transfer Matte Pore Finishing Matte Foundation from Natasha Denona. I've never tried a foundation from Natasha Denona before. I've heard it was really good, but I've never had a chance to try it just because it is very expensive. Okay, so let's give this a try. And I already shook it up. I'm not good at selecting colors online. I'm better if I can go into a store and be shade matched. So that looks really yellow. But we're going to give it a try. And the reviews on this, when I read them online, they're actually kind of mixed. Like, some people really enjoyed it. Some people liked the color. And then other people said that it made their pores look worse. I hope that's not the case. Like, I don't have great skin to begin with. I don't need anything working against me. So far, it looks pretty good on the skin. I'm not seeing the issue that other people are talking about. But now, I do not think this is a full coverage foundation. And one thing I'm noticing with this is that it's kind of drying before I can even get it spread out with the brush. So that may be where some of the issues come in with it making their pores look worse. I don't know, it's just not it's not performing like other foundations that I have. I've never had one that dries this fast. I'm really just not impressed with this foundation. It looks super, super orange. The color changed when I applied it, and it's bunching up here. It's bunching up in a lot of areas. I think if you have extremely oily skin, maybe you would like this more, but I do not like this foundation. I don't know why. It's just like super, super drying to the point where it's annoying. And I know it's a matte foundation, but a lot of times I can wear a matte foundation and it does just fine, especially if I have a hydrating base. It'll work a lot better. But this one, it's just grabbing at all these weird places and it doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to try this again with a different base to see if that does a little bit better. But upon initial application, I'm not enjoying it. And even, oh my gosh, even this foundation, the primer the concealer is drying so fast, I cannot even get it spread out. Oh my gosh, I do not like this at all. That's a little bit frustrating. I cannot spread out this concealer. And now I've just got splotches on my face. Oh my gosh, and it's coming off. Ah! Maybe my base wasn't hydrating enough, but it should not be drying this fast. Like literally, I put it over here and put it on the other side and try to blend out the first side where I applied it, and it just doesn't want to. And I'm trying to smooth it out, but it is just messing up the foundation underneath and it's taking it away. I don't get this. This is horrible. I really wish I hadn't wasted money on it. Like I couldn't even get this spread out, and now I've got a big streak of foundation or concealer there. And where I'm trying to fix it is just breaking apart right here, and this is not a good look. This is not cute. That foundation is just do not buy it. I do not enjoy it whatsoever. Even if it was $12, it wasn't worth it. But the next thing I'm going to go in with is the loose setting powder from Anastasia Beverly Hills. My boyfriend got me this from Marshall's for $12.99, and we're going to try it out for the first time. But look how big this is. That's a lot of powder. And I'm going to do like I do all my others, just pour some into the lid. And I'm just going to use this to set my horrible under eye area. I don't really normally like translucent powders whenever they're this light, because the powder is just white. You can get a lot of flashback when you do that. And for me, I don't mind it so much for the under eye because it brightens it a little bit, but it can make it look a little bit weird. But hopefully it doesn't look too weird. I'm hoping this video doesn't turn out to just be a complete fail. And while that is baking, I'm going to go back into this palette and we're going to finish up the lower lash line. But I'm just going to dip back into this shade here on a pencil brush, and I'm just going to run this along my lower lash line. And I'm going to also dip into the light shade here, and I'm going to put that on the inner corners. Because this one was super, super blinding, I think it's perfect for the inner corners. And their highlighter is just so pigmented that's kind of covering up where the concealer messed up there. So that actually helped out a lot with the eye look. And I don't want to leave that setting powder on there for too long, so I'm going to go ahead and brush that away and kind of push it into the skin. And I'm going to take a little bit on that brush and run it across my forehead. I don't have a new bronzer, so I'm just going to use this one from my Pretty Vulgar face palette that we got recently in Boxycharm. And I'm going to dip into the shade Son of a Bee to bronze up the face. And I forgot to do my brows, but I bought myself, I've been on a no-buy for so long. Whenever I went shopping with my mom, I come across this in Marshall's, and I'm like, I really want to try that. But this is from Benefit, the Browsings, and I got this for $8. And this one, I don't think it's the right shade I need. Normally I think I'm a shade number 3, and this one is shade number 2. But I've never tried this before, and I figured for just a few dollars, or $8, it was a good enough price for me to try it. And it comes with a wax, a powder, little applicator to apply the products, and oh, it comes with a little set of tweezers. Those are so cute and tiny. But I'm just going to use the applicator today and see how this does. So we're using the pencil, the angled side for the wax according to the back of the box, and then the round tip for the powder. Oh, that's got a lot more pigment to it than I thought it would. I might have to get this in another shade if it does well. That doesn't look too bad, but now let's go in with the powder, and it looks a little bit more of a cooler tone. And now for blush, we're going with the Moon Prism blush palette from Lunar Beauty, and this is Many Anyways brand if you're not familiar with it. I actually bought this whenever it first launched in Sephora. I bought it the day it launched. I've actually never used this because I planned on using it in a video when it first came out, and then I put it to the side for that specific video, but then because it got put in a drawer, I forgot about it, so I haven't had a chance to play with it. I didn't think of it till I was getting ready for this video. I was like, let's just get a handful of products I haven't used before, and that's when I come across this, and yeah, it's the perfect time for it. So the most wearable shade for me is probably this one right here, but I'm so interested in that orange shade. I think it's probably the whole reason why I bought the palette. I think he did exceptionally well on this. There are a lot of different shades in here to fit a lot of different skin tones, and all of the blushes are matte except for this one right here. But I'm gonna go in with Stargaze for today's look, and maybe a little bit of that orange. Just go ahead and dip into both of them. A lot of pigmentation to it. Okay, that's actually applying a little bit softer than I thought it would. That's quite pretty. I don't like a super intense blush. Like, there was one that I had from Makeup Geek that I got in a Boxycharm box a long time ago. That thing was full on impact right from the get-go, and it made it so hard to use. I'd much rather have something a little bit softer, something that I can build up to the intensity that I want. But that looks so pretty. So far, I've really been enjoying his products, like the Life is Drag palette. That thing is super pigmented, and this is just as cute as it can be. I think if you're going to get anything from Lunar, try this one first. Like, it's so pretty, and even the packaging is stunning on it. For the lips, I'm going to go in with a lip color from Milk Makeup. I thought it would have a name besides lip color. Got this from Marshall's also, and I paid $5.99 for it. I think that was a really good deal for this. But the shade, it's a real pretty nude. I think this one would be good for fall. It's got a little bit of warmth to it. I think it would be really pretty. Ooh, super creamy. This is a really pretty color. Okay, so for $5.99, that was definitely a win for me. And I love the packaging on it. It's very clean, very milk. Oh, and it's magnetic. Okay, I appreciate that, so you don't have to worry about the cap coming off if you're going to keep this in your purse, which I probably will because I love that shade. And the last thing I think we have to try out is back to this, using it for highlighter today. So for highlight, I'm going to go back into the Becca and Barbie palette, and I'm going to mix. This one's a little bit too intense by itself, but I'm going to mix it with this gold shade here and kind of make my own custom highlighter. They make pretty highlighters. Alright, well this is the final look using everything of my new-ish products to try out in today's video. Let's just kind of do a quick rundown of some of my favorites and some of the fails in today's video. The Lunar Beauty blush palette, this one's obviously a win. I absolutely love the colors in here, and I think he did such a good job with them. I cannot wait to use this more. Looking at this actually makes my heart happy. Even like the design of it, aside from the products themselves, like the packaging and everything, it's so cute. I really enjoy that. The brow zings, this was actually a win, even though it wasn't technically the right shade for me. It's a little bit too warm. It's kind of growing on me, and I think I can make a do with it for now. I had been on the fence, or I had been looking for a brow powder product because I had been using the same one for so long. I was like, it's probably time to throw that out and get something new. So I was so happy to come across this at Marshall's, and I want to get this in another shade because this one did really well, and it's versatile. Like, I'm really impressed with that. The lipstick, of course, that one was awesome because I'm in love with this shade. The Barbie and Becca Cosmetics palette, while it is really pretty, I don't know if I can really recommend this to everyone. I think if you're a makeup collector, makeup enthusiast, you know, you're wanting options in your makeup collection, I think I would recommend it to that person because it is so pretty, but I don't know if it's really practical for people if you just wear a little bit of highlight or if you're wanting something a little bit more natural looking, because a red highlight, a purple highlight, like that's not natural. But I personally don't mind. I love all the different colors in here. I think they are really pretty, and the shades, these two and this one, they're super pigmented, but they're not super sparkly, so they make actually really good eyeshadows. I know that's not why you bought it, but I love multifunctional products, and this one I'll just have to give it a try to see how it looks. Some iridescent highlighters can look really weird on me, and I'm curious to see how that one is. But this, over top of the blush that I got, it just did really pretty. I kind of like it. I wish they would rethink the packaging on it, because I still think it's annoying the way it opens, but I'll deal with it just because of the way it looks. The losers, unfortunately, are the Natasha Denona products. I don't know if you just have to have an extremely oily skin type to be able to wear these efficiently. Like, most time if you're someone who is working like an 8 or a 10-hour shift, or even sometimes 12 hours, I have combination skin that can get really oily throughout the day. If these help keep your face matte as you work, I could see that being an advantage for these. I just have to play with them a little bit more and make sure I get the right base for them, because the mask that I did, even though it was a hydrating mask, and then I put this priming moisturizer over top of it, this one surprisingly left my face not feeling like, it felt hydrated, really smooth, but it wasn't really shiny. It kind of left my skin looking a little bit matte itself. So it may have been just the base of everything that I used for the look. It just wasn't enough. And the same thing like with the under eye area. It could be because my under eye area wasn't hydrated enough. I'm just going to try this a few more different ways, because even though it was $12, I don't want to give up on it yet, because I don't want to bash this and just say absolutely don't buy it, it's horrible, even though I did have some strong opinions about it when I first used it, because it dried so fast. I want to try a few other ways to see if I can make it work. But yeah, guys, that is everything in today's video. If you made it to the end, you are a true member of the Wolf Pack, and I really do appreciate it. Sorry this video is kind of all over the place with the highs and lows and yes and no's, but I really appreciate you sticking it out. I hope you're having a great day, a great night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. That was Mia.